Well, hey everybody, my name is Mr. Delcourt and welcome to Foundations of Physical Science. I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody tomorrow, but for now we're going to use this video here on our first remote Wednesday of the year to get ourselves just briefly acquainted with the class and with myself and um, get maybe a little more comfortable getting ready to come in here for our first day of Foundations of Physical Science. So let's just jump right in here. First things first. If you are watching this video right now, that means you have the class in Google Classroom and you were able to follow the link on our first day here to the video on YouTube, which means you have done everything you need to do to this point and you're doing an awesome job following along and solving these problems. It's going to be an interesting year. We're going to have a lot of hurdles to figure out as we go. We're going to work together to do that. I'm really, really excited to have you guys on board in my Foundations of Physical Science class this year. And as I said, if you're watching this video, that's the first sign to me that you're a problem solver and you're anxious to get in here and learn science, which is all I can ask of you. So the course syllabus, which we're going to go over a little bit today, is posted to Google Classroom. I bet you may have already seen that if you're in Google Classroom. Real quickly, we should talk grading. In my class, I really remove a lot of the emphasis on those big tests at the end of every unit. We will have unit tests, but they're only about 10% of your overall grade. Really, the majority of your grade in this class will come from your participation and your work during class time. Class and remote work is 45% of your grade. It's just under half of your grade. It's just the stuff you do in here with me. It's your participation, and if you're invested in doing your work, you're almost guaranteed to succeed. And along those same lines, labs and quizzes, which we'll do in here together, are the other 45%. And again, those we spend a lot of time in here preparing for those quizzes together, studying together. So if you're invested and you're here and you're meeting the expectations and participating, I always say you almost can't help but succeed in this class. And I'm really excited to get you guys in here and get going. So the next page here is part of the syllabus that's posted to Google Classroom, but it's just a quick rundown of the topics we'll cover this year. We've got 7 units. I'll have you guys all year. We'll be here together till June talking science, and you'll see I get all geeked up and excited about this stuff. It is truly my lifelong passion, and we'll jump into all of this stuff here as we go. We don't need to spend a whole lot of time on all these topics, but it's a great slate of physical science topics. The coolest part being all of this stuff is easily observable in our world around us. You can look, just outside your window and observe all kinds of concepts that we're going to learn in class happening every day. And that's the biggest thing to me about teaching science is I want you guys to make connections between what we're learning about in here in class and your everyday lives. If you can do that, I'm doing my job. So a little bit of my background here. Again, my name is Mr. Delcourt. This is my 8th year at Thornton Academy, and I have a lifelong passion for science and especially the main outdoors. I love wildlife biology and forestry, and I teach a couple of those classes here. When you get to be upperclassmen, you can take those classes. And I spend every moment I can in the Maine woods with my kids and wife, and I just love being outside. It's my true passion in life. But deep within that love of the outdoors is a real love of science. And I've always been inquisitive and wondered why things are happening or what's going on here in the woods and learning those concepts and then observing them later on and understanding what's going on is the number one thrill of science in general. Recently I had a couple kids. I've got a daughter who's 6 and a son who's 3. And prior to having kids, I worked as a registered Maine guide and a whale watch captain for a long time in the summers. And nowadays, I mainly guide my kids, and we do a lot of fishing together, but not as much guiding with customers anymore. But I still maintain my guide's license, and I use that as part of my job as the advisor of the Thornton Academy Anglers Society. So I started the Anglers Society in 2013 when I got to Thornton. Any kid who has a passion for the outdoors or any interest at all in being outside and canoeing and fishing should definitely give this group a look. Again, the Thornton Academy Anglers Society. I'd love to have all you guys check that out. You guys will see I am an absolute nerd, and I get all geeked up about all the concepts we're going to talk about this year, and I hope that some of that enthusiasm rubs off on you guys along the way. I hope you're willing to joke around with me a little bit and have fun, and I don't even mind having a little fun at my expense most of the time. So just really looking forward to getting you guys in here in person and getting to know you the way you've maybe gotten to know me a little bit today. So let's talk about the things you're going to need to succeed in Foundations of Physical Science. Number one would be Google Classroom. All of our assignments and work will be posted there. Again, if you're watching this video, you're already in Google Classroom, you're figuring it out. That's awesome. The app we're going to use to take notes and to host our work that we're going to do is Notability. That most likely came on your iPad. You should have that already. If you don't, I can help you get that if you need help getting that. A little hint for you guys on your iPads as you get things set up. If you need an app for a class, the first place you should check is the app that should be on your home screen called Self-Service. Self-Service is an app put out by Thornton Academy that hosts all the apps that you can get for free through the school. So Notability would be in Self-Service for you if it's not already on your iPad. Same with Pages. Pages should have come on your iPad. If it didn't, you want to get that out of Self-Service, because I know that Pages is something like $10 if you go to the App Store, but if you go to Self-Service on your iPad and download Pages, it will be free. So don't pay for these apps. Make sure you check Self-Service first. And then finally, CK12, which is an online learning app, kind of like Khan Academy a little bit. We're going to use that. We'll use that for some of our remote learning activities on Wednesdays, just like today. Every other Wednesday or so, we're going to have these remote days, and I'll have some sort of review assignment on CK12 for you to do. So don't stress out too much about CK12. If you can find that app and download that, that's great, but we really won't have another one of these Wednesdays to use it for a couple weeks. So yeah, those are the kind of the four major apps that you're going to need to be truly successful in here. And we'll go over all this again real quick tomorrow. And really my goal for Thursday this week is to make sure everybody's up to speed and ready to go with all the tools they need for success. So let's, lay out a little bit about what the course is going to look like in this hybrid model. So I'm going to, you're going to be expected to be in attendance every day, whether that's remote or in person. And I'm going to be taking attendance at the beginning of every block. We'll have a Zoom room that we use to kind of host the class. If you're on your remote day, you'll log into Zoom. And if you're in person, obviously, you'll be right here in person. And we'll do attendance, and then we'll get going. So those of you guys at home will be following along on Zoom. I'll see you basically once per week in person, right? Because you'll either be here on Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday. One of those days will be a maroon day, and on one of those days, you'll be in here with me. So I'll see you once a week in person, once a week remotely, and then every other week, you'll have a little review assignment to do on those Wednesdays, those asynchronous Wednesdays, I guess they're calling them. So the biggest thing to me is that you are willing to ask questions and work with me to help solve problems. There are certainly going to be plenty of things that pop up this year as we're working our way through everything. And do not be afraid ever to ask me a question. Reach out. Hey, Mr. Delcourt, can you help me with this? I wasn't able to get this app. Can we help me figure this out? I am always willing to help. That's my job. I take it real serious. So the biggest thing is if you're having troubles, if anything comes up, you got to let me know. You got to communicate and help me figure out a way to help you. And we'll make it work. I promise you that. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in today. It's awesome that on the first day of class, you're already able to log in and see this. And I will see you, some of you in person tomorrow. Others will be remote on Zoom. And I can't wait to get to know all of you either remotely or in person tomorrow. So thanks a bunch, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.